Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play the Guardian Legend. Today we're taking on Area 8. And just like Area 6, the corridor is right here at the opening. At the entrance. So I guess we'll have to explore Area 8 in order to find out how to open that. The enemies here are starting to get a lot beefier, and unfortunately we haven't gotten a shot upgrade since Area 5, I believe, and we're starting to lag behind in damage. I'm actually going to start ignoring a lot of enemies because it's just not worth it. And for as easy as the sub-bosses from the last area were, this one, not so much. However, I think I found the best way to deal with this guy, and it's just to damage race him, like this. Because that guy's gimmick is that he has way better tracking and chase. So, if you try and run away like you normally would, you get destroyed. Luckily though, we have a shot upgrade finally. Or a spread upgrade. We haven't gotten one of these since, I think, about 600 chips. And this right here shows you that Naju is not fucking around anymore, because they're starting to throw sub-bosses at us as regular enemies. The sword, not the optimal weapon for them. We'll switch to something that works a little better. Once again, game is telling me to go to the right, or to the left, but, you know, I think otherwise. Well, this is it. And some enemy eraser. There's actually a reason for this. Enemy eraser is ridiculously useful in Area 8. Like, it was pretty useful in Area 7, but in Area 8, it just outshines most other sub-weapons. It already outshines most sub-weapons, but just like nothing that you'll see. A handy checkpoint. And we're gonna move on. Whoops. I meant to fire a shot there. Oh, right. This guy. So, Crab Walker, back once again, stronger than before, same old, can actually keep up with us now. And if you turn too early, you won't have enough time to stay in front of him. If you try and damage race him like you did the red anemone, you're probably gonna get destroyed. Quite a number of choices here. Let's go down. A little concerned that we haven't found our hint yet. Just trying to stay on the inside of this. Oh no. How many points do these things give? I think about 500. Really, that's it? God. Those things suck in more than one way. It appears that we've already exhausted the entirety of this area. Nothing really that... Oh, hello. The hell? Oh, is that it? Is that all you do? Okay, buddy. Anyway, we get a piercing shot upgrade. For as good as that is. The real issue with the piercing shot is the damage it does never gets any better. it gets wider and all that, but that's it. Now, I'll show it off one more time for completionist's sake, but that's it. So there you go. I can see a little kind of like helix thing going on, and like, okay, I guess it deletes bullets, but you have better weapons that do that. Let's, get to doing that. There's not really too much more to talk about the corridors here, other than the fact that, once again, in this game's sort of weird pacing, this corridor starts off really, really hectic, and then slows down to a snail's pace. I don't understand this game at all, nor do I try to. I guess it's throwing more meteors at us now, but that's about it. But at least we're at the boss already. At least it's a short corridor. So this guy is called Grim Grin, and I rather like him. He shoots out a lot of eyes and bullets and what have you, and I find that a good strategy for him is to shoot a spinning shot down the middle and try and catch him with that. Because luckily the spinning shot will also delete all of his bullets. Whoops. You don't want to touch him though, because he does a lot of contact damage. A couple of guides that I read recommend using the wave beam, but the wave beam does not destroy his bullets, his bullet bullets, as opposed to his eye bullets. So I find that sort of pointless. When he loses all of his eyes and he changes color like that though, he starts spewing shit like crazy. And this is where your enemy eraser is going to become really in handy. Is going to be really handy. Sorry. I like, though, the strategy I like to use, actually, is if I get pretty comfortable on a health and chip state, I may actually switch back to the spinning shot, because I can more reliably do damage that way. Which, we just hit that threshold for me, so. And the nice thing is, the spinning shot still continues to delete all of his bullets, so you're still relatively safe with that. As long as you can make sure not to touch him, because of his contact damage. This is actually a pretty hectic, but fairly safe boss. There we go. And for our trouble, we get an upgrade to the fireball. It now moves quite faster. Now, I've already expressed, we've covered the majority of Area 8, and we never found our clue. Well, there's a reason for that. A couple levels back, if you look right next to where the blinking dot is right now, for Corridor 8, that's where we found the clue for Area 6. And when we got our little wavy key, it actually got a little nub on there. Yeah, if you're thinking what you are thinking, you're right. So here we are, back in the room where we got the clue for Area 6. Down here, like I said, you'll notice a little wavy key door. We go in here, and here's the clue for Area 8. I liked that they used this once. I don't like that they use it again, and it's in the same exact spot. That just feels a little lazy overall. I kind of wish that they would have thought of a more interesting way to do that. But, as per the clue's instructions, we equip no weapon, and it opens up the door. And just a preemptive switch to enemy eraser, because, as I'm sure you can guess, this area is just going to throw every type of enemy for this set of levels at us, which includes our old friend octopi. I've expressed this once before, but I really do want to discuss again how much I dislike the octopi enemy, and just really drive home the reasons why. So, during normal play of the game, I tend to avoid enemy eraser, unless it very much suits the situation I'm in, such as way too many bullets on screen at once, and no other sub-weapon can deal with this, that sort of stuff. I don't like the octopi because they require the enemy eraser during normal gameplay of a corridor. So what this results in is you just clearing every enemy off screen. This is a corridor that I'm fairly easy for me to talk and what have you, that based on the number of enemies that they're throwing at us should be pretty difficult. But due to the octopi, I can just enemy eraser them all away. So, the boss of this corridor is a red Grim Grin, which is really hard to say if you try and say it really fast. It's sort of a tongue twister name. The changes, however, aside from more health and more damage, are some of his eyes are very homing now. And did I grab that enemy eraser? I don't know. This can be quite an issue. And while you actually see me taking quite a bit of damage. Also, consistently, still, do not touch him. His contact damage is dumb. Sorry, I need to concentrate a little bit here. I may have been talking too much and got myself in a bad situation. We're actually just going to switch to enemy eraser preemptively so that I can delete bullets. I do actually kind of like this guy's design. Like, normally you think he's a head that's just floating there, but if you look really closely, he has feet. Maybe. This'll work. Nope. Damn. Okay. I figured we'd just cut in right back here as soon as we got the transition to Phase 2. Which is a bit silly because Phase 2 is exactly the same as Phase 2 was in the first boss fight. In that he just starts spewing stuff everywhere, and he's a little harder to deal with. Like I did during the first boss fight, I like to use this phase as a good time to get powered up again by utilizing enemy eraser. Trying not to get too much contact damage, which is a little hard with this guy, and still hitting those power-ups. I think we're at a comfortable place right now, so we're going to switch back to spinning shot and try and whittle him down. Unfortunately, his ridiculous health doesn't really change between Phase 1 and Phase 2, so that's something that you're going to have to deal with no matter what. That is my one complaint with Igor, is I feel that not Igor, this isn't Igor. With Grimgrin, is that I feel he has too much health. It's like, we got it, but I guess I said this with the eyeball bosses too. If they didn't have that much health, then they wouldn't be that hard, and so on and so forth. I just feel that the bosses drag on too long. And for that, we get an upgrade to something that's already been maxed. But that's it for Area 8. Next time, we're going to move on to the final couple of areas. I'll see you then.